Okay. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. So I'm going to wait for some people to get on here. I didn't announce that I was going to go live because I didn't know if I was going to have time. So as soon as I got home and got adjusted, I was like, I'm going to just go live. And then people just can go back and watch this if they miss it. So peace and love, everybody. Peace and love. Jump on in here. I'm going to go through that full moon and what a lot of us experience. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Peace and love, Saeed. Peace and love, everybody. And let me know if this light is good, because I don't have my ring light. I normally have my ring light, which is why I be showing up so bright. Other than the fact that I be shining. Nah, but this is just a regular light today. So let me know if this light is good. But peace and love, everybody. About to get into that full moon in Aries. Now, it's not the full moon anymore. It's actually starting to wane now. And actually the moon is in Taurus. So I'm going to get into what that full moon meant and a lot of things that it highlighted, because everybody, it was just very intense for a lot of people. All my eyes, peace and love, Zaid. Well, thank you. My big eyes. All is well. Well, jump on in here. Especially if you are a sun sign Aries, moon sign Aries, or if your ascendant was in Aries. So those are people who felt the height of that the most. However, wherever you had it at in your chart is still important and very vital, because of course that full moon still meant something for everybody. But if that was your ascendant, that definitely was some things that you needed to see, and it was really just like a checkup with the universe as far as your sight. If that full moon in Aries was in your ascendant, if that is your moon or your sun sign, okay, if that's your sun sign, a lot of your strengths, okay, it's talking about that, which I'll get into. And if that is your moon, the sensitivity to what brings you strength. And also just wherever everybody has had battles in the past month or so, everything's coming to a head with that full moon, wherever you've been having battles at. So a lot of people either won the battle, which is your alignment, or you did not, which is a part of your karmic debt or a part of your shadow work. And so a lot of people, may have been feeling like things have been going on all over the place, business and personal. A lot of people have been experiencing situations where things were unjust and unfair when it comes to work, when it comes to their relationship. A lot of things may have been going on behind your back, which is what that full moon was talking about. Things that have been going on behind your back, which is what your shadow work is. What is going on where the light is not hitting you, where the sun is not shining at. What's going on in that area? So wherever anybody who had been sneaky, you've been doing some wrong, I'm going to wait for some more people to get in here. Those things came to the light, or if there was somebody else that you could not trust or somebody that you have been suspicious of, things like that may have been coming to the light. Now, it's not always negative things. With this full moon, like I say, it's also a lot of people being at the top of their mountain, a lot of people experiencing their glory, a lot of people getting their report card of their actions from the past 6 months. So a lot of people are feeling very accomplished with that full moon. So it was the end of a cycle about how you were doing things, and it was the end of a lot of battles that a lot of us have been involved in the past 6 months. A lot of us have been just fighting that fight. And wherever you have been the most ambitious, wherever you had the most energy, and whoever had the most power at their root chakra is people who really conquered this Libra season. Because in the next couple of days, we're about to start Scorpio season. So this Libra season was a whole lot about your independence and what you can do alone, which I was getting into with that new moon in Libra, what you can do alone. And that new moon was eclipsing, all right, what was taking place in your interactions with people. So this is why a lot of things were coming to the light. And that new moon was going to get you up the mountain to tell you what was going to happen with that full moon. So that's why I say think about it like a mountain. At that new moon, you're at the bottom of the mountain. When it starts to wax, you start to build up. At that full moon, you're at the top of the mountain, and then it starts to wane, and you're going back down. So now it's starting to wane, and we're in Taurus right now, the last few degrees of Taurus. And so as it's waning, you do things for other people. You share your bliss. You share your joy. A lot of people who conquered and won a lot of things wherever you were in the situation. That's why a lot of people may have been buying other people drinks, doing things for other people, because when the moon starts to wax, you start to bliss others. You share your bliss, especially if your alignment brought you something. So if that full moon, a lot of people may have gotten promotions. A lot of people may have gotten on the receiving end, things going very well for their business, all of that with that full moon. Because like I said, it's shining light on your actions for the past 6 months. So things you've done since April, things you've been doing, things you've been pushing for. A lot of people, of course, if that's your sun sign or your birthday, things like that, now you're at your 6-point checkup, and it's saying where you at, who you're dealing with. In your shadows, you look behind you, right? So your light work is, hey, it's Libra season. So the sun is in Libra. There's a lot of harmony and beauty in having balance and knowing how to negotiate and knowing how to work as a team and knowing how to make proper agreements with people and making sure that God is a part of all of your contracts, because you want to make sure there's honesty. You want to make sure that everybody is completely putting both hands out. You want to make sure nobody's putting any hands behind their back and hiding anything with Libra season. The only time and the alignment is anybody who has been honest in the shadows is going to meet honest people in the light. And so that's why I say, if you've been honest and been completely thorough with your contracts, keeping your word with your clients, with a job, with school, any payments, loans, anything like that, and you've completely been coming through for the past few months, this is why your light was naturally walking into beautiful places and spaces this month without a lot of effort, without a whole lot of grunt work. And that's what an aligned person does. They don't have to do a whole lot. So this is what we call blessed, or somebody who is just in tune with the universe. All of those things, people, like I say, they don't have to work that hard. They just have to wake up. Okay, and that's when you've been doing your work. So your physical body, the flesh, does the work, and spiritually you also have to do the work. So you have to meet yourself in the middle. So you pray and you meditate and you start getting things moving, okay, as far as the spirit, but you also have to put in effort, 50% of that work with the body. And so that's why if anybody's been having any health elements or anything, that still goes back to misuse of the body, not using the body properly, not using your energy properly, just pretty much not maintaining your vehicle, which is your body. You start having bumps along the road, right? And so we have to think about that when it comes to our bodies. And so people who have started physical routines, exercise, different yoga classes, running, walking, things like that over the past few months, that full moon was receiving the benefit of my health, my body, my skin, people that are glowing. Glowing during Libra season is fantastic, because that's your integumentary system meeting in the middle with your urinary system and your endocrine system. So your skin tends to glow more. All right. Dualness to the skin, dualness to the appearance. You have to think about who you're interacting with, who you're around, and the circumstances in your life. So a lot of times you can simply just look at somebody and know by their glow, know by the way that they look, know by the way that they're smiling. And of course, the eyes are always the window to the soul about what's really going on. And that's also going back to the alignment. A lot of people fake, phony about their happiness. So there's fake positivity that a lot of people put on, and that goes back to, it takes away from their alignment. A lot of people have a lot of pride towards things that are not going right in their life, and there's nothing wrong with putting on a good face even when things are going wrong. But when you're not honest with yourself about your struggles, you fake your alignment, you stink to other people. So spiritually, you fart in and then not telling nobody you farted. And so other people, when they get around you, your vibration is not off. It's not right. Your vibration is off. And a lot of people don't realize that. We can see right through that. We can smell right through that. So if you're sad, be sad. If you're mad, be mad. If you're happy, be happy. Embrace those things, because that's learning yourself. That's learning your body. And a lot of us will shift. We'll watch what other people are going through, and we'll try to, put that on us and try to take in somebody else's things. Just experience what you're experiencing, and that goes back to, there are different seasons for different reasons, different people. Different people glow at different times. Different people shine. Different people struggle through different times. So that's why I say, just look on your own paper when it comes to your test through the universe. While you're in school, in the university, you need to stay on your own paper, because we look on other people's paper, or we look at what other people are getting rewarded, and we think that we're not doing enough, or we feel like we're not getting enough. enough. And sometimes, like I say, that's fake positivity, and some people are not really that happy and they're not really being rewarded. So that's why a lot of us think we're missing out on something, and that's not true. So that full moon was also talking about, like I say, your sight. Oh, that's my son. Your sight. So being able to see. So if you had it in your ascendant, a lot of people who have Aries in their ascendant may have had to be the hero for other people and save things and be the person, the first responder to a lot this month. However, in their lower self, they also needed a hero. So people with Aries in the first house, like I said, you're the hero. You're the person who always come to save others, but you needed saving in your lower self. And also knowing who's behind you when you're doing things, knowing who your team is very important. And so a lot of us learning who our team was and knowing what's really going on behind our backs was important. The past 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, all of that was about this full moon. So the full moon is for 1 day for a period. However, it's a 3-day cycle. It still goes on. So it started really pretty much Monday, because Monday the moon was already in Aries, but it just wasn't a full moon until Wednesday. All right. So that 3-day span, think about whatever conflicts you had. Anybody who had conflicts, now you don't have to question who or what was around you. Those conflicts came to fruition. Those people showed their face, or the universe pointed them out. So that's why I always say the sun and the moon, your mama and your daddy, come together and they decide some things that you need to know. And they say they come decide. The sun, like I say, is your flashlight, and the moon is how you've been feeling. And so when you put those together, what you've been feeling, and when you got a flashlight and you can actually shine light on what you've been already feeling, that's why I say the full moon is a revelation. And the revelation is not always a scary revelation. It can be a beautiful revelation. You can be feeling or been thinking that your boyfriend or somebody was going to propose. You can be feeling or been thinking that you was pregnant. Those are still things that when the full moon happened, that's when you find out and actually get the information that you thought. So the full moon just helps you see better. When you are at a new moon, you cannot see. So this is why I always say you have to have the most faith at a new moon. From the new moon all the way up to that first quarter is when there's the least amount of light. Also from the third quarter up to the new moon, this is when there's the least amount of light when it comes to the moon. So this is why your faith is important. You have to be able to move around in the dark when it comes to your life. And if your life and your house is already in order, it's easier to move around in the dark. Just like in your house, right? You should be able to do the same thing with your body, your spirit, and everything else. Everything has a place. And if your house and your life, your mind and your spirit is already in order, you can move around in the dark. So that's why the new moon should not be a scary thing. The new moon should be say no more. Okay, so the full moon, for a lot of people, things that were suspicious, things you needed to find out, things you weren't aware of, may have came to what you needed to see. And it doesn't matter who or what you were doing or who you were around. Whoever you were around the past 3 days, that was what we needed to see. Whoever was not around the past few days, the lack of their presence was also what you needed to see. Because that full moon in Aries was also potentially talking about loneliness. Wherever you feel lonely, okay? In lower self is loneliness, and higher self is independence. So in higher self, I decided to be alone. It was a choice. In lower self, that wasn't my choice. So a lot of people in lower self may have been experiencing that loneliness because they didn't have a team, because they didn't have a partner. They might have also felt defeated because of the actual partner, or like I say, the lack of, which is what a lot of people have been dealing with. The lack of a partnership, the lack of a team, wherever you have been needing assistance at in your life. Even if it's just in the romantic department, even if it's simply you need intimacy, sex, you need somebody to help you at home, man, woman, however, those are the things where the universe was pointing it out and showing it to you, where you have been needing something else or someone else in your life. If you are already attached to somebody, already attached to a team, married, already connected to a job or have clients or however, the universe was revealing to you the people that you were already connected to potentially being the problem. So I'm needing a team, like I said, for some people, or for some people, we have to question who is actually there, who's on our team. And so some of the same people that's supposed to be shooting beside you are sometimes shooting at you. And sometimes you have to realize that. So that's why I was saying in the last video, what's beside you you is also the same thing that's in front of you. The very person that you need sometimes, as you're looking out, is the same person that was beside you the whole time. However, in the same breath, it's the same thing that you see as a problem sometimes that's right in front of you is a lot of times a person or a situation that was the closest, that was right beside you. So that's why I say your advancement and your bliss is right beside you. However, your enemy and, the things that's going to be a disadvantage later is also right beside you. So you have to know where your right hand is, where your left hand is. And when we call people that, our right hand, all those things, your wife, your spouse, your husband, you have to think about that. You have relationship with men, you have relationship with women. You have relationship with a husband and a wife. There's a difference in a relationship with a healer and a teacher. There's a difference in a relationship with a god and a goddess. Those are different levels. So you have to surpass just being a man and just being a woman. You have to surpass just wanting to be a husband and just wanting to be a wife. You have to surpass just wanting to be a teacher and just wanting to be a healer. When you completely elevate to your God self, that's why you can't belong to anybody. So this is what we call Christ mode. Christ didn't belong to anybody. Christ wasn't married or any of those things. You are at the highest level of you being loved by everybody and you love everybody. And you're just here to serve your purpose. So this is where monks and a lot of shamans, a lot of people, witches, where they come from, where they're not connected to anybody else. That's actually they're in their highest self, where there's no need to be connected to other people. Now, there's nothing wrong with being married or being in a contract or connected to somebody. However, you elevate more when you can elevate by yourself. So that's why when you do connect to somebody, there is detachment still there. So the freedom and the security of every relationship is the insecurity of it. The fact that I'm free around you and I can still go somewhere else and do anything I want to do and still be me and still be free. This is what you want in a business, in a career, and this is also what you want in a marriage. You want to still be able to be you. You want to be free. You don't want to have shackles. And when somebody can freely come back to you because they want to, that's when you know it's a real connection, not because they have to, not because they're obligated. Obligations are amazing, but when you see what somebody desires to do, this is what really lets you know where you at with somebody. With a job, like I say, with a man, with a woman, with anything. And once you know your relationship with the divine, you can understand your relationship with anybody. People who don't have any moral standing, any spiritual guidance, if you don't have whatever you consider your higher power, even if it's simply yourself, those people fall. Okay, so that's why I say I'm having a contract with God. If you honor your word and keep your word with God through your prayers, through your mantras, everything you say to the universe and to yourself, what you're going to do, and you complete that, it's easy for you to keep your word to other people. So if you lie to yourself, you lie to me. You keep your word to yourself, you will keep your word to everybody. And a lot of people don't realize that. When you go into marriages and when you go into relationships, and you are a liar, okay, and you've never been able to keep your word to yourself, you've never been able to have a level of integrity or character about yourself, and just even simply stick to a diet, you are not going to be able to keep your word to a spouse. And a lot of people don't realize that. You need to know your relationship with yourself and understand your weaknesses before you enter any contract with anybody, even with God. So this is where, forgiveness is here. Forgiveness is during your retrogrades, okay? But when the planets are going direct, there is no forgiveness. Your mistake is your mistake, and you have to wait until a planet retrogrades in order to fix something. So when Venus was in Scorpio, okay, because Venus is in Sagittarius right now, when Venus was in Scorpio, there was a lot of cheating and creeping and a lot of sneaking and the secrets and all those things going on, business and personal. A lot of people was doing a little dirty things at work, hiding money, secret money, different things, different dealings on the side. A lot of people was doing the same things in their marriage. So now as we want to travel and do things and get further along, with Venus being in Sagittarius right now, which I'm going to get back to that full moon, and Aries, because they trying each other, a lot of people had to face the music about their actions in their relationships. A lot of people have been unfaithful. A lot of people have not fallen through and completely given everything they said they was going to give in their contract with somebody. A lot of people didn't cross their T's and dot their I's. So when that retrograde came to spank a lot of people was wondering what was going on in their relationships. A lot of people was wondering what the holdup was, because a retrograde is pretty much holding up traffic in the universe. The retrograde is pretty much everybody sitting in traffic, beeping their horns, and wondering what the hell's holding everything up. All right, and so what that was, so a lot of people like, well, why am I being so delayed, right? Well, a lot of people were mainly delayed wherever you weren't aligned. A lot of people that were aligned, so a lot of people that was already on time, they not caught up in traffic. They left 30 minutes ago, so that's why even when the traffic happens, they sitting there and they still gonna be on time. That's alignment. But people who was late, those slaves, the people who got to look at the clock all day, the people who don't know where they were going and didn't have direction in the first place, this is why the retrogrades was bothering them so much. And that's why so many people make all these memes and all those things about the retrograde. The retrograde, you did not study for your test. This is why you're scrambling. But people who are aligned study for their test. People who are aligned left 30 minutes ago. People who are aligned can just sit and sip their coffee, right? People who are not aligned, that's why I say running around like a slave. They naked. They ain't got nothing on. They not dressed. They not ready. There's lack of preparation. So that goes back to why the retrogrades will beat the ass of whoever who's not taking themselves serious. And that's why the planets will show you, you're not taking yourself serious. I'm not going to take you serious. When the planets go back direct, you're going to crash your car. You're going to crash your vehicle. So a lot of people having to move right now. A lot of people are getting evicted. A lot of people are going through separations and divorces because you didn't take yourself serious. All right. And all that retrograde was a test. I'm spinning up, the planets is spinning the block, okay? And you better not be back out there when they spin the block. Like it's things you're supposed to be doing while they're retrograding. So this goes back to your full moon. Your full moon trines Venus in Sagittarius. So that full moon is, I'm finding comfort through the knowledge that I have, through the ambitions, through the things that I do, through my drive, how much gas I have in my vehicle, which is me, which is my spirit, the quality of the things that I'm doing and the people that I surround myself with. Or some people found discomfort. I find discomfort. There's arrogance, narcissism, selfishness that I have to face in order to really go into a relationship, in order to really find that right job. So a lot of people are full of themselves, right? They're full of themselves and they're empty in a whole lot of other areas. There's nothing even really to be full on. So we have to understand our value before we can really sell ourselves and before we can really put a price on something. And a lot of people oversell themselves. And a lot of people it's more, think about it, context and content. Okay, and so I always say, this is our context, our flesh is our context, but our spirit is our contents. And a lot of people got some good looking context, but the contents is nothing there. And so they wonder why things are happening the way it's happening. Are you aligned? Your purpose can be here, but your life is here. You have to make a match. They have to line up together. So what you're supposed to be doing and what you're actually doing may not always be on the same level. So this is why you figure out what's going on with your health, your relationships, and all those things so you can meet yourself and be where you're supposed to be. So this is also going back to your spirit guides, which I'm going to do a separate video on that. Because people have inboxed me talking about the difference between your spirit guides and your ancestors, your higher self, your lower self. And I'll go really quick into that because it's also still astrological. It's still in your chart, which is why I always talk about a sign and what they do in their higher self, what a sign will do in their lower self. Your spirit guides, which I'll get into that, is simply your senses, which a lot of people say is these people. Everything about you is you. Okay, so even when we're talking about the conscious community, which I said before, the conscious community is yourself. It's a community of your bones and your muscles and your organs and your blood and your chakras. That is your conscious community. Are you aware of yourself? People make things way bigger than it is. We are collectively conscious and aware of ourselves. We collectively are conscious and aware, and we are one single body, which is Zodiacus. So that's why every sign represents a body part from our head to our feet. We collectively are moving together when we do things. And so when we're not aligned as a people collectively, this is why a lot of us get sick. A lot of us, depending on where you live, this is why your birthday, your birth time, your location of birth, all those things are important, because based off of where you are and where you're breathing, that affects everybody else in the rest of the world. If you a Leo that lives on one part of the world, it's affecting another Leo in another part of the world. Y'all literally work together even if y'all don't know each other. Y'all do things, a lot of your purpose is the same based off of your chart. So a lot of people don't realize. That's why I'm like, it's not even a race thing. It's none of those things. Simply, do you breathe? Simply, do you breathe? Because that's all it is when you took your first breath on your birthday. That's all it is. It's not about man, woman. It's not about black, white, whatever you call yourself. When you're talking about astrology, it's simply energy. But when you're talking about your higher self, which I said before, your higher self is your best self. If you ever took your best selfie of yourself, if you ever had your best outfit on, whatever describes you as you, and you took your selfie and showed up as you, All right, and no gender roles, not caring about what anybody thinks, just whatever your style is, whatever your spirit says, dress me up is this. That is your highest self. That is your best self. Whatever you choose to look like and be like, and whatever puts you in the best behavior and the best mood every day, whatever materials and, colors make you treat people good, make you feel good, make you feel flowy, that is your highest self, and you want to always aim for that. All right. Your highest self, like I said, always has options. Your highest self has the menu at the restaurant. Your highest self says, I can have this, and this. Your highest self is always using their law of attraction, and they're always dealing with their power. So that is your higher self. That is just your best you, the best picture of you you've ever had. And you keep it like that. You aim for that every day, I would say. So that's like straight A's of your life. Is your highest self. Your lower self is your flesh self. Your lower self is closer to the ground. So your lower self is easier to moan, groan, feel things. Your lower self has emotions. Your highest self does not. Your highest self is always neutral to everything. Your highest self understands everything because it's your highest self. It can see from the top of the mountain. It can understand everything. Your lower self can't see that far. So that's why your lower self is hungry. Your lower self is horny. Your lower self has desires and lust and all those things, and you can feel it through the body and the flesh. So your lower self always wants to eat immediately, and your lower self loves immediate results. So that's why the lower self will move faster about getting things. The lower self moves faster about survival, because the lower self is thinking about survival. Higher self does not. Higher self has never died. Higher self will never die. Higher self, is infinite. So lower self has a time limit. Lower self is very temporary. That's why I say it's the flesh, which is why it's moving around like a slave. And that's why I say, depending on where you are in your life, a lot of us have moved around like a slave at some point, just moving fast and always feeling like we didn't have control over what was going on. And so a lot of us, maybe have stolen something before, done hurt somebody before, done robbed somebody. Like a lot of people have done things. Like I say, in survival, you just do the first thing you can to make sure you're still going to be here. Your higher self knows it's always going to be here. So that's why the higher self has more options about the way it goes about things, about the way it seeks love, about the way it seeks pleasure. The higher self, there's no addiction. There's nothing with higher self. Higher self is just the heaven of your life. Like I say, lower self is just pretty much lower to the ground, closer to the ground. So I'm going to do lower things. All right. The vibration is lower self, and lower self, it's not that lower self doesn't have a source. Lower self acts as if it doesn't have a source. So that's why we call people with a low frequency or low energy, evil people, demons, whatever you want to call them. At the end of the day, those are people who are lower and closer to the ground, and they have no source, no energy source, and no light. So that's why they feed off of people. So these are bottom feeders. These are energy drainers. These are people, that's why I say are closer to the ground. These are people who are moving around. These are your shadow workers. These are the people who they say the shadow people that move through your house, or the demons, those things. Even when they pass away, their energy is still very dense, which is why you can still feel certain energies, or call them haunted houses, all those things. Those are energies that pass away in lower self, and those are also people, that you come across all the time in lower self. Your spirit guides, your spirit guides are simply your senses. Your spirit guides are, because there's a difference, there's a barrier between the spirit world and your physical world. Just like there's a barrier between your front door, your back door, and outside your house. There's a barrier. The difference between inside your house and outside your house, there's a completely different world outside of your house, which is why a lot of people feel different as soon as they leave their house. As soon as you're on your way to work, as soon as you're on your way somewhere, you feel different, and you feel like, oh, I want to be at home. Your home is your safest place. Your home is supposed to be your safe place and your sanctuary. So this is why a lot of people set their home up a certain way, their bedroom up a certain way. At the end of the day, your home is pretty much like your womb. We set our home up like mama. So this is why Cancer represents mama. Cancer represents the fourth house of the chart, the base of your chart, everything that goes on here, because this is the womb of your chart. So this is the place where you feel the most comfortable, right? So there's a barrier between your front door, which is why you protect your home through your front, your back doors, your windows, right? With salt and different things that we all use. So That's one barrier that we have to deal with every day, every time we leave our house. You don't know if you're coming back, and you don't know if you come back, things are going to be the same inside your home. You don't know who's here when you're not here. So that's why it's a really big thing about how you protect what's in your home and how you protect things before they come inside your home. That's one barrier. Then the other barrier, like I say, is the spirit world and the physical world. And the only way that you can discern what's taking place between the spirit world and the physical world are your senses. What you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you touch, and internally what you feel, which was what we call our sixth sense or our intuition. And simply that's your spirit, how you breathe. So that's your sixth sense. How are you breathing in a situation? So you're always going to be breathing, but when I'm seeing something, how am I breathing? When I hear something, how am I breathing? All those things. So your spirit guides are simply just helping point things out to you, and let you know what's in front of you. So you have your eyes. This is what's in front of you. You'll touch things, different textures. Your spirits, you send messages to the spirit. Hey, this is what's going on outside of me. And then your spirit will tell you, send a message back. Hey, I don't like that. I do like that. So that's why when you're around people, you'll see them, you'll hear their voice, you'll smell their perfume or different things about them. And all you're doing is sending messages back to the spirit. Hey, this is what's going on outside of you, outside of the vehicle, right? And then you're going to get information and send it back to the inside of the vehicle. So in the inside of the vehicle is going to send information right back. The passenger is going to say, I don't like this neighborhood. Your passenger, whoever driving or whoever, your spirit is going to say, I don't like that person. When I go here, I don't like that smell. I don't like that sound. So trust yourself. That's why I say those are your spirit guides. It's simply your body. That's why I say people make it seem like everything is outside of you, and I don't take that away from anybody's experience. But everything you're experiencing, everything you see, feel, hear, taste, smell, all those things are within you. You are your spirit guide, all of those things. Now, outside of that, your ancestors are either people, your family members that have passed on, or sometimes your ancestors are people you've never even met before that have passed on, but they chose you to finish their mission. So that's where your ancestor energy comes from. Now, that you owe them. No, so those are the ones you set an altar for, your ancestors. All right, your spirit guides. That's completely different. All right. Your ancestors have a mission, which is why you feel passionate about something and why you feel the need to do something, even though that was never your plan. It's just something was inside of you and told you to do something, or I've been feeling this, or something's been telling me that. And sometimes you can even hear the voice even tell you that is an ancestor. Okay. Your highest self, anytime you hear yourself talking to yourself, but you still hear yourself, the words of it saying I, when you say, hey, I think I need to do that, but you're talking to yourself, that is your higher self, because your higher self is still you, which is why you're still speaking that way. You're saying, I need to do this. I think I need to do this. I feel like this. But anytime you hear something say, you need to do this, you should do that, even though you're still talking to yourself, this is now when you're observing and you're listening to somebody else tell you and instruct you to do something. So that's why I say this is when you're listening to an ancestor. And even when your lower self is going to say I, because that is still you. So your lower self will say, hey, I want to sleep with that girl's man, or I think I want to steal those chips. The lower self is still you. So that's why you'll hear I. But anytime you hear you need to go do this. You need to go lay down. You need to go eat something. You need to go drink some water. Somebody's instructing you to do something inside of you. That is ancestor energy. That is somebody else telling you to do something. Or like I say, if somebody says you need to call this number, you need to call this person. Somebody's coming up on your timeline more than once and something saying, hey, you need to reach out to that person. Even though you have no ties to this person, you don't know this person, you don't know why you would get in contact with this person, because you don't know this person, but somebody else is using your vehicle and they know that person. And that's why I say this is when you're talking to an ancestor, or they're communicating to you or through you. When you say something that uplifts somebody or even gets under somebody's skin, but that's not something you would normally say and you don't even know why you would say that, you are being used. Okay? And sometimes, depending on your vibration and how happy or unhappy you are, sometimes you can be possessed or be used by a negative energy. And that's why I always say, goes back to protecting yourself and being aware of yourself, and also knowing what ancestors you're calling on, and simply asking when somebody's tapping into you, who is this? Just like when somebody calls your phone or anything else, you simply just say, who is this? And a lot of times they will reveal themselves. They'll say a name. It's different ways you can go about that. But I'm going to do a full video on that so you'll know who you're communicating with. And the reason why I say this is so important, because our mental health is the thing, which I always say. And because so many people don't have structure to their magic and don't have structure to their spirit, that's why so many of us are having issues with our mental health. So many of us are saying we're talking to ourselves, or like I'll say, so many of us bipolar or schizophrenia and so many of those things, when it's simply you're being used. There's an ancestor, there's a whole conversation, there's a whole purpose there. And because you don't have structure, that goes back to a lot of us being spiritually molested and not really having understanding what's going on when we're being tapped into and being used like that. That's why a lot of us think we're losing our mind and going crazy. That's why a lot of us are on pills and medicine now. That's why a lot of us are smoking and drinking our problems away and swear we just like smoking weed, when really it's something going on within you spiritually that you cannot handle. There's voices going on, things you cannot handle. And so that's really what's going on. Other than the PTSD of just simply being a person of color, a lot of times it's something spiritually going on, which is why when people say it's something going on, I can't talk to somebody about it, a lot of people think they're losing their mind. And I always say that you think you're losing your mind and you're really gaining your God. And so you have to understand what's really going on inside. But there is a difference between your higher self, your lower self, your ancestors, and your spirit guides. And they do all communicate differently. But lower self is simply your urges. You know lower self like the back of your hand. Lower self is simply your stomach growling. Lower self is simply you horny right now. You want to take care of it right now. That is simply lower self. Higher self doesn't feel those things. Higher self is mind, the energy, none of those things go towards that. All right, unless there's something being manifested in a beautiful way from it. And so that goes back to, like I say, monks, nuns, all those people can go long periods of time without sex. That's not what they're focusing their energy on. Everything about them is more God mode. More of them is more about their purpose and what they're here to do. It's not even about reproducing or anything. It's about their mission. And not everybody will get there, and not everybody's purpose is to get there. But that's just different ways, so you'll understand where your message is coming from. Also, lower self will tell you to take yourself out as well. So that's why I say lower self is just like the worst demon that you can deal with sometimes if you don't manage it. However, lower self is the best part of you, because lower self is also your instincts. So higher self don't have as much time as lower self do to get to that gun. So lower self can shoot very well. And higher self gonna pray for you, and higher self is always gonna want a better turnout. But lower self, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, lower self can fight. And so use your instincts at the end of the day. Don't throw your lower self away. To be a completely aligned person, I always say, have your gun and your Bible. Have your gun and your Quran. Use your weapon of choice, but also have your higher weapon of choice, which is your Bible, your Quran, whatever it is that you use. That's also a weapon of choice. So that's a very aligned person. What Lil Wayne say? He say, AK on my nightstand right next to my Bible, like for real. And so that's an aligned person. I trust in God. However, my body is a little bit closer. Let me grab that gun if I have to. And that's an aligned person. That's why I tell people, don't throw away your lower self, but also just have protection and make sure you have backup through your higher self. Okay? Lower self can call the phone and lower self can call the police. Higher self can call on God, and both of them coming, you know, so that's why I say do both. All is well. But that's the alignment with that. But I'll get into that, like I said, in another video. But that full moon in Aries even goes back to that. In lower self, like I said before, Aries can be very violent. In lower self, the hungry part of an Aries is very lustful. The hungry part of an Aries moves very fast and impulsive. It's not thinking. So this is why Aries can just be very hungry, not thinking about consequences and anything when they do things. And so that goes back to any of our impulsive nature in the past few months came to a head in the past 3 days. Our impulsive nature, what we do, how we do things, came up. And so our impulsive nature about opportunities, but also, like I say, when you're hungry. Because in higher self, we use our impulsive nature. We see somebody we know, we make sure that we give them our business card. We make sure that we shaking hands with the right people. You're moving fast, or I would call it hustling, or however, for the right reasons. Excuse me. In lower self, Aries, like I said, is just hungry. In lower self, Aries ain't ate in a few days. In lower self, Aries about to bully you and get something they want without having to do the work for it. And so that's why I say that some people may have felt like that or been experiencing that. Also because it being Libra season. So that's why I say the sun falls in Libra. It's as high as it wants to be in Aries. Sun in Aries is an exaltation. The sun is really dancing when the sun is in Aries. That's the spring. That's, the beginning of the year for us. But when it goes to Libra season, it falls. Everything that I do for myself, now I have to go between me and somebody else, which is why negotiations and sharing and all those things and knowing how to communicate is important during Libra season. It says because what's in the shadows, there's a warrior back here. I have to play nice, and with Mars being in Libra, it was saying not only do you need to play nice, but you got to share that gun. Normally you would shoot for yourself. You got to share that gun with somebody else. And so the universe is teaching Aries, or wherever you have Aries in your chart, how to share. In the next 3 days, things are about to get more intense with that Scorpio season. And so with that Scorpio season, with the sun being there, it's about to highlight a lot. November 4th is that new moon in Scorpio. A lot of people are going to have a new chapter, new page, and it's going to be more intense than you want it to be. That Venus in Scorpio did bring family members and a lot of people who were experiencing death. That Sun in Scorpio is going to highlight it even more. Okay? The Venus in Scorpio, those were the people who were collecting money, funds, any type of trust and things like that. But now with the Sun being in Scorpio, it can still be that if you have things like in the 8th house, for example. However, this is going to go back to intense situations taking place. Now, depending on where you have Scorpio at, because now we're at a Libra. That's why the universe and this full moon is telling you, hey, I need you to be aware of everything, right? I need your eyes to be open with this full moon in Aries, because now as we go back down the hill, right? Because now we're going back down the hill. It was the full moon. We're going back down the mountain, and we're going back, and we're starting to wane. That new moon in Scorpio is going to get dark. It's going to get wet. It's going to get deep. And so right now your eyes are open. I'm going to need you to close your eyes with that new moon in Scorpio. I'm going to need you to close your eyes and feel around once again and maneuver in the dark about what's taking place. And I'll cut the lights back on when there's a full moon in Taurus, which is going to take place. So I'm trying to walk you through and give you the dates and everything, whatever people have going on. Now I can give you more dates and actual specific times if I'm doing somebody's individual chart. But since I'm just going like very, very broad right now, I would just say that those are the dates for everybody. November 4th, and you want to pay attention to the past 3 days. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week have a lot to do with November 4th. And so your dealings, your circumstances, a lot of people, like I said, if you were on the shadow end of this full moon, then I would say that that new moon in Scorpio can be kind of uncomfortable for you. Because it's saying if I lost a battle in the past 3 days, or I feel defeated, or if I feel lonely, or if I feel like I just didn't fight the fight, whatever, in the past few days, then that's why that new moon in Scorpio is going to still be a new cycle for you, but it's going to be uncomfortable. Is the universe is saying, hey, I know it's about to hurt. However, in order for you to begin again, all right, I'm going to have to rip this Band-Aid off. So that goes back to some things uncomfortably happening. Scorpio is very uncomfortable. So a lot of people always say Scorpio is like your drawers. And a lot of people's drawers get pulled down Scorpio season. And that's why I always say to be aligned, make sure that you can afford the things that's about to take place Scorpio season. A lot of people might need repairs. Physical repairs, meaning your car, your house, things like that, where you're moving things around. That's why it's also talking about money. But then repairs to your relationships. So a lot of mending that might need to happen during Scorpio season. So a lot of people, once again, can you afford it? If you can afford it, you can walk into a situation where things were dark, but you can cut the lights back on in a lot of different situations and bring the power into a situation during Scorpio season. But wherever there are insecurities, that Scorpio is going to consume you. All right. And so wherever you just don't feel your legs are shaking and you're nervous about a situation and you'll see them come up, that Scorpio is going to consume you. And also wherever you had not planned ahead when it comes to your finances, you guys. Because Venus in Sagittarius right now is big money, big love. I'm willing to travel for it. These are long distance relationships that people are starting right now or a part of right now. Or people are traveling for work. You know, a lot of people might, you know what? I'm sorry, it's so random. I'm just now seeing y'all's comments. So I don't know if these comments just popped up. And that's fine too. But if y'all been commenting and those are just now popping up, that's what happened in my last live. People was commenting and I wasn't getting the comments till like 2 or 3 minutes after they commented. So, all is well. But thank you, Dion. I will put my Cash App. I appreciate that. I'm gonna still take that donation, but I do my lives and I try not to charge or anything when I do my lives because I like to share the information and just pique somebody's interest if they want a reading. And so I don't do hair, I don't do makeup. It's other ways that other people can show their work. This is the only way I can show my work other than when my clients tag me and give me a shout out. And so when my clients leave reviews and when I go live, it's the best way I can show my work because everybody does. So many people that do astrology. I've been doing this since 2000. I've been studying astrology since 2010. I've been doing charts since 2012. So I've been doing this a long time, way before it got like popular, before it became a trend. But the thing is, popularity, everybody, and not everybody even knows what they're doing. But I'm like, this is the only way I know how to display my work. And I've been going live for so long doing that. So I just feel like because people pay me when they actually get the reading, that's why I say, well, this is the only way I can show you what I can do. Because if I just say, hey, I'm an astrologer, get a reading with me, now I sound like, what's her name? Call me now for your reading. Like, I just feel like you're not telling nobody enough if all you're saying is just call me now. So that's not genuine enough. So I just feel like let people know what you do and show your eyes, show your face, show your energy because so many people don't do that. And if I wasn't already a reader and I was looking for a reader, I would just be shit out of luck because so many people are not genuine. So many people don't even know what they're talking about, to be honest. And you don't have to be a reader to read a reader. You can read a reader and not know how to do readings. Everybody's still intuitive. And I feel like a lot of readers are so disingenuous and they don't think other people can read through that. And that shit be crazy to me. I be like, girl, you're so full of shit. You don't think we see that? And they be trying to, that's why I say the fake positivity or the negative positivity. They be like trying to act positive all the time and they really be mean girls and men, not just girls. Some of these men are very rude. They're very nasty. They have very bad attitudes, but they call themselves readers. You gonna read my life? That's a negative. And so I'm going to just say that because people send me a lot of different videos and stuff of other people and show me other astrologers or be like, oh, I think you would like this person. And that's fine. But that goes back to I don't look on other people's paper. I don't really care what nobody else is doing. I do things my way. My business has been going very well for the past 7 years. I mean, I think I'm good. But I will urge you to go to anybody. So if you don't feel my energy, trust yourself. Go to somebody whose energy you do like. But I do appreciate that. And I am going to put my Cash App. I just kind of felt like it was kind of tacky. And I just, like I said, I feel like because I already charge for it, when people actually, get a one-on-one with me, that's the least I could do is share information. And because I was supposed to start classes back in April, so that was part of my shadow work because I'm supposed to be starting classes and providing classes. I do already do classes, but I was going to actually have a formal way of doing the classes through Zoom and everything that I still haven't completely started yet. So once I get the classes and everything started, because once again, not everybody wants to receive a reading. Some people want to learn for themselves. And I was one of those people. I'm self-taught. I'm not even going to say self-taught. I just follow my spirit and I don't read books on astrology. I read books on math. I read books on science. I learn a lot about the planets themselves and I go through my experiences. And so that's how I do my readings. I'm not going to say there's no magic. I've had some beautiful happenings. I've had some beautiful things, but there's just no certain way to go about it when it goes to the astrology. But anyway, I'm about to go through all the signs really quick just to talk about all the different signs with that full moon. I'm sorry my light keeps going in and out. This is actually my computer because I'm not using my ring light right now. So, all right, give me a second. Give me 1 second. Peace and love, everybody. Well, look, all that darn talking I was doing, I guess I can speak now. Zaid, Dion, Phoenicia, who all up in here? Calvin, Kathleen, Shantae, Nabi, El Lachey. Like, peace and love, y'all. I hope I'm not sweating. Well, I hope y'all, I'm sweating, but I hope y'all can't see it good. Alright. But, my full moon was very enlightening. Like, I definitely got some information and some eye-opening information. And they were actually information that triggered me, to be honest, with my full moon. And I have Aries in the 8th house, so that's actually a house where triggers happen. So my full moon was good, but it was information and things I needed to see. So, you know when somebody try to trigger you and get under your skin on purpose? So I had somebody do that to me, and that's why, because my full moon was talking about hidden aggressions and figuring out pretty much people who didn't like me and who not feeling me like that. And I already knew who it was. I had a dream about them. I already wrote their name down. And then I already knew the full moon was coming, so I trust Mama. I said, oh, Mama about to sing that song, and she does. And so I always tell people, listen, I don't know you. I know planets. I know planets, and I trust the planets more than I know and trust people. All right, and I've been knowing and studying the planets and myself more, so I trust myself. And I'm not more than I trust people. People lie. People are full of crap. So I trust my spirit about situations. But somebody was being nasty to me, and they was being rude, and they actually insulted me. But never in a million years with my Leo ascended did I think that I was going to laugh and handle it classy. I'm a lady. I'm a lady. But yeah, I was like very classy about it, and I laughed because I already knew it was going to happen. And that's why I say when you're aligned, you laugh more. You laugh more, even when somebody's trying to be an enemy, even when somebody's disrespectful, even when somebody is trying to cross you in any type of way. You laugh when you already saw it. And it happened to the exact hour. My chart said between 12 o'clock and 2 o'clock. That somebody was going to try to disrespect me. And it says somebody from the past couple of weeks that I've been having an issue with. And it says if you didn't know with that new moon, like I said, the new moon you can't see. So the new moon you'll just feel like something subtle with somebody. By that full moon you be like, gotcha. Got your ass. And so that's why it's like if you kind of feel like even if at a new moon you kind of think somebody cheating or you think your job about to fire you, that next week you gonna know for sure. And by that full moon, that's what I'm saying, you either getting fired or you already quit. And that's why I say you can be a master. Nobody can ever take anything away from you when you already know the time, when you know what time it is with your life. And so I already knew what time it was, so she insulted me and I just busted out laughing. And it actually confused her. It confused her demon because her demon thought he was going to get paid that day. I was like, you don't get no check today. Yeah, not fucking with me, you not. Wrong person. And so that's why I say, remember I said that full moon in Aries is your awareness. I'm aware, I already know. I'm an astrologer. Come on now. Come on now. And so you got to pay attention to people. Aries, all right, for y'all, dealing with y'all's family. Because right now it's saying that Aries needs more support. It says there's no family, no support. That goes back to the Aries feeling and lower self lonely. And so it was saying, Aries, you need somebody to hold hands with. Which I think I even said that in the last live. Aries, learn how to hold hands. And even if it's not you, this battle of being alone or not having support, you needed this. You needed this discomfort, so you'll never experience this discomfort again. So I would say, Aries, be uncomfortable to be comfortable with that full moon. And so now that the moon is, like I said, is in Taurus, it might even be in Gemini by now. No, I think it's still in Taurus. But the moon being in Taurus is an exaltation. So even though that full moon in Aries might have been uncomfortable for some people, the waning moon, all right, when that moon started to wane and it was in Taurus, that's money. That's money. So that's securing yourself after the war. So I would tell Aries, even if nobody else is around right now, when it comes to your money and when you're doing very well for yourself, guess who's around? You around. You around. Okay? And Aries, because y'all naturally have always had battles anyway, man, just pat yourself on the back. And now when you start your new cycle up into you guys' season, your birth season, now you know what a partnership looks like. Now you know what fairness looks like. Now you are more selective, okay? If you've been in battles by yourself and you felt defeated, now you know what defeat looks like, but now you know what your drive looks like even when you're by yourself. So now you know what you're in addition to when you're a part of a team. So you needed that, Aries, all is well. And I would say that there's more to come. That new moon in Scorpio is disharmonious to an Aries. It's not very comfortable. So the next couple of weeks, Aries, that's what I'm saying, Fight that fight. And still you have time to mend things because all their planets are back direct. Mend things with somebody so you can still create your team, because you are going to need a team, Aries, while you're going through Scorpio season. Mars is still going to be in Libra, and Mars is eventually, which is not fun, Mars is going to go into Scorpio. And anybody that's your natal placement, you need a birth chart, because that means you need alignment. That's why I say it's like your vehicle, so I'm like your spiritual mechanic. So you need to go to your mechanic anytime some of your natal placements are coming back up. So if your natal Mars is in Scorpio, call me. All right. But that was for Aries. Tauruses, lock your stuff up. It says proper boundaries, Tauruses. It says the decline of boundaries to a Taurus right now. Taurus, you are the money, you are the gold, you are the king, you are the queen, you are royalty. And I always say that when a Taurus doesn't know their value, they act like a peasant. So Tauruses can be very promiscuous, men and women. They can be very bad with their money, men and women, because they don't know their value. So they'll buy things they can't afford. They will go broke for stuff they can't afford sometimes. And that goes back to they'll even get with people they can't afford. They'll get with a man that got way more than what you can keep up. Or they'll get with a woman that got way more than what you can keep up. And it makes them even more insecure. I would say right now, even though Venus is in Sagittarius, that don't mean that for you, Tauruses. Okay, money is growing, money is bigger. We got to travel to get it, but that's not always fun for a Taurus. So right now, Tauruses, we need to tighten up on our money, and I would say tighten up on everything, people, places, and things, until y'all get y'all crown back on. Right now has Taurus looking kind of down. And I would even say with this moon being in Taurus right now, y'all should be really experiencing your glory. But because we're about to step into Scorpio season, that is going to be kind of weak for Tauruses. Tauruses can experience weaknesses through Scorpio season. So this is why I would tell Tauruses, just put on your seatbelt right now. Put on your seatbelt and stay in your lane so you can be safe. I would say for the next 30 days, Tauruses. People, places, and things. So if it's not about money, it ain't about nothing. Don't talk to nobody. I would say that keep things on the hush, Tauruses, because this is, I would say your journey, Tauruses, right now is, you need your seatbelt. Literally, it's saying safety. It's saying caution to Tauruses right now. So I would be mindful. How do I say this, Tauruses? You got Venus and Sagittarius. Put your money up. How can I say that? Yeah, put y'all's money up. Plan ahead, Tauruses. Coupon. This is what y'all do. This is what y'all do very, very well. And a very aligned Taurus knows how to have nice things and not spend a lot for it. They know how to get a bargain. That's the word I'm looking for. Boundaries to the money, boundaries to the heart, the mind, and the spirit right now. Right now, you are couponing with everybody and everything, Tauruses. Even with love, coupon. Nothing full price right now, Tauruses. I would tell you that. So I would just say hold on to stuff, but not too tight, because Scorpio season is going to make you loosen your hand up. So that's why I say that Scorpio season pretty much humbles a Taurus, unless they're aligned. All right. Next thing, Geminis. Mercury is back direct, but there's still reconciliation that needs to happen. Geminis, if you have any issues with people, or there's somebody that you need to talk to, or somebody that has an issue with you, y'all need to go ahead and square that away. Because Geminis, you're not going to be able to be your best self when other things in your head. Gemini represents like the ADHD of social behaviors, right? So Gemini right now, I would say, could be spinning because the universe is always character building. I would say that, right? Right now, Geminis, right, in order for you to really get your glory, it says you need to forgive somebody or be forgiven for something, and there's reconciliation that needs to take place. It don't even have to be something that deep. Sometimes it can just be a loan. It can be some money you owe somebody. It don't always have to be some big old apology to a family member. It could be, but sometimes it's simply just paying a bill and taking care of something you're in debt in, Geminis. And I would say that Geminis, in the next 30 days, because that's the next full moon. The full moon in Taurus, which is next month, that's why it's saying that for Geminis. By the next full moon, which pretty much you have 9 days, get your life together, Geminis. Say the things you need to say, write them down if you have to, but it says you won't be able to accomplish anything until you have a conversation that needs to be had. Cancers, closure. A need for closure for Cancers. And Cancers don't forget anything. So I would say Cancers, for one, just learning how to move past things and working on your coping skills. But for two, anybody just in general, if you know Cancers, you violated Cancer, you hurt a Cancer, they have really excellent memory. They're never going to forget what you did to them. And even when it's all said and done and it's over with, a Cancer is going to always remember, which is why they might still kind of be funny around you even after a situation is done. Cancers right now is saying you need closure to move forward. And in order to do that, especially the next couple of days is going to be a Cancer moon, you want to be able to stabilize yourself. And I always say that an unstable crab is a very mean crab. An unstable crab will pinch you, will make other people uncomfortable. And so I would tell Cancers right now, get the closure you need. It's different from what a Gemini needs right now. The Gemini needs reconciliation, but a Cancer needs closure. You need to go ahead and shut it down. And Scorpio is going to help you do it because Scorpio trines Cancer. So in the next couple of days with Scorpio season, it's going to help you bring things to a close. Cancer is a sign of endings. Scorpio is a sign of endings. And so those things put things to bed. They put things to rest. So I would say that with Cancers. And also your path is completely covered up with something until you can get that closure. Cancers, learn how to put stuff down. That's what make Cancer seem so heavy. Their energy can be very dense sometimes because they hold on to stuff. Scorpios too, they hold on to stuff. They can be very resentful. So I would say that. Cancers, Leos. Why is everybody down? Confidence. The ability to soar. All right. And the reason why I would say that with Leos in general, though, Scorpio season is approaching. Now, Leos, y'all had a little bit of time to have a little flavor and do a little dance while this was Libra season. Libra and Leo, 60 degrees away. They like to dance together. That's a good little partnership happening right there. So Libra gave you room to kind of like do y'all's thing, right? Scorpio season about to challenge the hell out of y'all. Scorpio season is about to... Scorpio season is about to challenge the confidence of a Leo. The Leo, just think about a lion putting his head in a tunnel, like putting his head underground. Like you might be a ferocious lion, but you putting your head in some unknown territories. You don't know where that hole about to lead you, Leo. And so that's why I say that you might have confidence everywhere else, where you out in the jungle, where there's nothing, where everybody knows you, right? The popularity of a Leo, the king of the jungle type energy, which is Leo energy, man or woman, right? You ain't so much the king of the jungle underwater. You're not so much the king of the jungle under land. So you the king of the jungle as long as you're on land and the sun is hitting you. This is why Leos are, the shit during Leo season is the sun. The sun is hitting them. This is where they thrive at, in the sun, in the Sahara, in the summer, places like that. When you take them to water, they start to be more vulnerable. Yeah, they can drink water. They need it to drink. But if the water is bigger than that lion starts to sink. So that's why I say that. And lions, they care about their mane. They care about their hair. This is why water is a vulnerability for a Leo. They don't want to mess their hair up. They don't want to mess up their makeup. They don't want to mess up nothing. It's a superstar, right? All right. This is why they have to tread lightly going into Scorpio season. Scorpio is the swamp. Scorpio is the mysterious, murky water. You don't know what the hell going on over there. And you have the lion, a very valuable king of the jungle, about to walk near that water. So that's why I say Leos. That is the best way I can describe that. I hope y'all took that analogy. That's the best way I can describe that you are walking near some deep waters, and if you gonna get some water, hurry up and drink it and go on now. And that's what I would tell a Leo. Go on now, because this is not your season. And I'm literally saying that, Leos, this ain't your season. Especially if Leo is your ascendant. All right? Scorpio about to take all that light. Okay? That's why I say Leo is a sign that thrives in the light. We about to get closer and closer. It's the fall. It's going to start getting darker. It's going to start getting colder. It's going to start straining on a Leo. Okay? Especially also if you have Leo in the 9th house and if you have Leo in the 7th house. Scorpio season is going to eat you up. All right? And that goes back to if you can afford it. But that also, what you can afford also challenges Leo. Leo is new money. Leo likes to express. Taurus challenges that. Taurus is old money. Taurus is wealth. Leo is, I just got paid. So that's why Leo moves fast and impulsive about their wealth, their money. It's a masculine sign. It likes to show off everything, right? Bright colors, all of that. Taurus is old money. That's why they're the king or the queen. Leo is a superstar. They still young. They just got it. They fresh with their wealth, all right? They want to show it off. Masculine energy. Feminine energy is Taurus energy. I'm wealthy. I got on a t-shirt. I got a whole lot of money. I got a few horses. But you don't know that, right? Because I don't have to show it all. That's what Tauruses do. Tauruses can be very minimal. Yeah, they're the king or the queen, but they don't have to spend a lot and do a whole lot. They don't have to do as much as a Leo. All right. A Leo, that's why I say this is why this is going to challenge them. All right. Scorpio season is talking about a decrease. Scorpio season talks about completely being naked. Leo likes to dress up. So this is why this can challenge their confidence in the way that they're going to do things. Wherever you normally fly high at, Leo, I would say this is telling you to lower yourself. However, don't completely submit. All right. Scorpio ain't always right. So that's why I would tell a Leo, don't submit to the situation, but know your role and shut your mouth, because Scorpio is just as powerful. So that's what I'm saying. Those are very powerful signs that do not get along. All right. So I would say pay attention to your confidence ever since this full moon in Aries for Leos moving forward. However your full moon in Aries went is a hint about how your Scorpio season is going to go for Leos. Virgos, freedom. All right. Virgos, free yourself. And you can do this very much through Scorpio season. You guys are 60 degrees away from a Scorpio. Virgos, you can do very, very well. You already analyze. You already like details, right? Scorpio gonna help you out even more. Scorpio loves to investigate. Scorpio loves pulling the covers back off of something. So Virgos, you can really free yourself, whatever details you didn't get in your season. Your season is about to be what? That was a month ago, 6 weeks ago. However, the last time that was Virgo season, that was back in September. Remember that full moon in Pisces was September 21st. That was still Virgo season. All right. You want to think about things from September, Virgos. You can finish your sentence now because Scorpio is going to help you out, Scorpio season. And so that's why I say that. Virgos, when it comes to a job, when it comes to your health, if there was any needed surgeries, things like that, that's a thumbs up for you with with Scorpio season. It just depends on what house. If you have to go to the doctor, if you have to get a surgery or anything like that, I would suggest get a reading with me, because I can tell you based off your chart when is the best time for you to go under the knife or to go under, or anytime you're not going to be conscious. So that's why I say that it's certain days, if you're a Scorpio or a Virgo, well, really any sign, but going into Scorpio season, Virgos, it's certain days that it's not safe for you guys to not be alert. So that's what I'm saying. Anytime you're not going to be conscious, there's certain houses that you don't want to be in, and certain days that the moon is going to be in that you do not want to be under somebody's knife and not be conscious. So that's why I say that. In general, even if it's not actual surgery, situations that you're not conscious or aware to in general, Virgos, that's why I say this gives you time to get extra details that you really wanted. And so Scorpio, like I say, the Pluto is the shovel. We can dig things, right? Pluto is back direct. Now I can get the details I really wanted. But Virgo, once we pull things up from Scorpio, Virgo will put it under the microscope. So that's why I say that they work together. You pull it up, I'm gonna look at the details, I'm gonna get out everything that I really, really need. And that's why they kind of get along. Only thing is, Virgos, y'all like to do things tight and to the right. Scorpios move a little bit different, just a little bit. They like to move tight and to the right, but Scorpios like control when they do things their own way. This is a month, Virgos, where you kind of got to go by somebody else's rules. And this is why I would say this is a time of submission for Virgos. And that's why I say not for Scorpios. Not for Leos, but for Virgos. Virgos, you get your freedom by kind of not caring so much. So that's why I'm saying free yourself, because you're in a cage right now and says you need to come out. There's some things that really need to be, seen. There's some things that you need to pay attention to. That's why I say you can finish your sentence, Virgos now. Let me see here. Libras. Wherever grieving that was happening, that crying all night that I was talking about in that last live, Libras. Definitely might have been some Libras crying all night, especially with this full moon. Okay? If you were aligned, that's why I say Libras and Aries. Libras, if you're dealing with grieving, either you holding on to something that you should have been let go of, All right, and Libras, we'll get into that. Or it's something that is pending. All right, because it's saying that there's a transformation that's about to take place. This is a pending death. Now, it doesn't always have to mean, I always say a physical death. This can mean an ending of a chapter to something for Libras. But it is saying that there's a transformation, something that's never going to be the same again, dealing with a Libra. So this could be with somebody you're involved with. Like I said, Libra season is a fall. Somebody might be going through some type of separation or divorce. Libra, that can also be, the death of a relationship or divorce. Libras might be going through some things with their own health. All right, because it's showing something declining. So Libras, y'all, most sensitive things about you guys are what? Like I say, your kidneys and your back and all those things. Which is why having a partner and having assistance and having a team is important, because you guys get your sturdiness and your power from your back, which helps with your posture. All right, when you don't have the right people on your team, this is why Libras can, like I say, cry all night. And Libras also can be more aggressive than they let on. And so, Libras, this is a time right now. Grieve, cry, and go on back to work. Because it's saying you're going to cry, something's going to be uncomfortable for a minute, but you can go ahead and move forward after the fact. All right, there's a transformation, meaning things are going to, one thing is going to come out of something else. Something beautiful is going to come out of something that seems scary or sad now. So that's why I say, finish watching the movie, Libra. Mercury was retrograding in Libra, so I always say, finish watching the movie. You got to finish the whole movie. You know how you just start watching the movie and you get to certain parts and you don't want to watch it no more. You kind of can already assume what's going to happen in the end. I always tell people, finish watching your own movie. The retrograde was the pause to your movie. Don't give up yet. Watch the whole movie. Read the whole book. Like, finish the book. That's why I tell people that. Don't give up. So I would tell that to Libras. Also going into Scorpio season, which is going to be a blind spot for you. Secrets, things you didn't know, disturbances, all of that, Libra, is going to be a blind spot moving into Scorpio season. So that goes back to people you couldn't trust, people you didn't know, things you weren't aware of can be a detriment for you later, Libras. So that's why I say you either crying now or you're going to cry later. Either way, you're going to cry, Libras. And if you're not an actual Libra, wherever you have Libra in your chart. So you don't have to be a sun sign, moon sign, or sun sign Libra. You can just have a Libra somewhere, just, in your chart, which we all do, wherever you have it at. I would say that. Scorpios, trying to be happy. Scorpios, trying to be happy. You saw your glimpse of happiness when Venus was in Scorpio, right? And that was very temporary. However, now the happiness is still declining, Scorpios. It says there needs to be things to be turned around in order to have brighter days, Scorpios. And so, Scorpios, you guys regenerate very well. That's why I say Scorpios never die. Scorpios have never died before. Scorpios are the roach of the zodiac. They can survive a bomb, okay? So I would tell Scorpios, find your happiness in those dark places, all right? The scary dark alleys that nobody else wants to go on, this is where you guys find the most power at, okay? Going down those dark corners and alleys and being in, the trenches, I would say that's where Scorpios dwell at. But this is where Scorpios get their money at. This is where their children come from. This is where their art comes from, their depression, the darkest times of their life. So right now, I would say Scorpios, create and regenerate. And make some good loving too, Scorpios. You guys need some real good loving, I would say. So be touched at your sacral and your root chakra, Scorpios. Because that's also when they're not open here, that's also what makes Scorpios mean. And that's why I say that's when you need healing from a Scorpio, when they're not touched properly. That's why they're sexual beings. Those are very sexual signs. And when they're not being fed properly, this is also what puts them in their lower self, because they don't know when they're going to get it again. And that's why also in lower self, Scorpios can be very controlling or very even manipulative. What's the word I'm really looking for? Possessive. All right. That they're not possessive in a bad way. Their insecurities make them possessive. They hold on to their money. They hold on to people and all that longer and tighter than they should. Because sometimes, for one, Scorpios ain't always had shit. People or things. That's why they're Scorpio in the first place. They already ain't never had the best of the best. And that's why as they get older, Scorpios want the best of the best, and they never gonna let that shit go. Okay? That's why you be like, you get with a Scorpio or Venus in Scorpio, or they got more Mercury in Scorpio, and they want to know where you at all the time. Don't take it personal. They never really had shit before. So they want to make sure you ain't going no damn where. Okay? And so it's really a low-key insecurity. That's why I say that. Feed them, and they don't as long as they're not starving, you don't have to worry about them getting mean. So if you're dating a Scorpio, you need to give them a little bit of sex at a time, a little bit of money at a time, Please them a little bit at a time. If you over please them, you ain't never going nowhere. So that's why you can only give a Scorpio a little bit at a time, because then they can become dependent, or they can become, what's the word? Obsessed and all those things. And you don't want to feed their obsessions. Okay. So, Scorpios, find your own inner happiness is what that full moon was saying. So now that you can be more of a healer than a disturber during your own season. Because even during somebody's season, they can be in their lower self, even during their birth season. You can still be in your lower self and pretty much not be aligned. So all is well. Scorpios, Sagittarius, learning how to commit. Right now, Venus is in Sagittarius right now. If you're a sun sign Sagittarius, Sagittarius season is in the next month or so. So it's telling you to commit yourself now, and it's telling you to draw a line between what you want and what you need right now, and like what you're trying to go. And it says as long as you can commit yourself. Sagittarius don't always commit, and they don't always commit for long periods of time. So this is why they're the nomad. They travel from place to place to collect information. So even when it comes to lovers, okay, they put a little bit of everything on their plate when it comes to that. So Sagittarius, that's why they're the traveler. That's why like truck drivers and all of those people, even if they're not sun sign Sagittarius, they got Venus in Sagittarius, they got Jupiter in Sagittarius, they got major Sagittarius aspects, people who travel for a living. And they also, the way they spend their money and the way they make their money is also the way they are about love and their appetite. A lot of times those people have big appetites and they'll try new things. And that's why even in a marriage, a Sagittarius will try new things. Okay? Okay? And so this is why I was talking about commitment, Sagittarius, and staying in one place. And this is how you're going to actually get further ahead. You make more money, staying aligned, you stay stay your course, and also when you plan ahead and are prepared, Sagittarius. So plan ahead. I would say pack your lunch, and now you don't have to go outside of your comfort zone when it comes to your money, outside of your budget, anything like that when you plan ahead. So I would say create harmony in your life, Sagittarius, and I mean, you're going to do very well. Because Sagittarius is, wherever you lack commitment is the only place where it's just going to get scary for you. And let me see here. Pluto is in Capricorn right now. So I would say Sagittarius is dealing with commitment. With Pluto going back direct, this gives you time to really kind of learn how to get yourself together. You know, because Sagittarius can be all over the place. Like I always say, a Sagittarius is like a big Gemini. So a Gemini all over the place, two twins running around. Imagine putting one on top of the other and it's just one big person who still don't know what the hell they're doing. That's what a Sagittarius is. Because the Sagittarius and the Gemini is the same thing. You just cut them up in different places, different pieces. So they just do the same thing, just different. And one is an air sign, one is a fire sign. Sagittarius is a mutable sign, just like a Gemini. They're all over the place, okay? They create the change, they initiate change, they move things, but also they spread. That's why it's like a organized chaos. It's what Gemini or Sagittarius or the Aquarius can give you. Everything is all over the place, but they can still get things done. But Sagittarius is telling you to follow the rules. How can I say it? Follow the rules, stay the course, stay committed, stay focused. Don't get easily distracted. Sagittarius just get distracted easily, just like a Pisces and a Gemini. So I would just say that, Sag. When it comes to business and personal, because that's why I say that you guys get easily distracted when you're in a relationship too, Sagittarius. And that's why I say they love the scenic route. They love seeing everything. They love going everywhere. They love being able to say they have pictures of everywhere they went, everything they did. Also, Sagittarius, when I just thought about that, you guys like evidence. And you know who's sitting right beside you, who loves evidence and loves to use it against you? Scorpio. And so it don't have to be a Scorpio in your life. Just remember that Sagittarius, Scorpio is a blind spot for y'all. So like I say, Sagittarius is all about pictures, showing you, hey, look here, look, I went here, I got a new car. Look, I got a new big house. Ooh, look me, I'm about to go to, a new country. Scorpio is the sign sitting right beside you that when you just told them you was going out of town, Scorpio gonna rob your shit. Scorpio the one you just sat here and told them, you just showed them a picture of your wife, and Scorpio peeping your wife. Like, oh shit, your wife kind of fine. That's a Scorpio. So Sagittarius, like I said, they're a fire sign, just like a Leo. They like to show off. You got water sign ass Scorpio sitting right beside you like, let me see it again. Where you say you stay at? When you say you're going out of town? So that's why I say that check your blind spot. It's about to be Scorpio season, Sagittarius. Y'all better watch it. Y'all better watch these signs and pay attention to these signs. Alright. Capricorn. Capricorn, use your spirit guide. Capricorn is saying you're not answering your phone. So Capricorn, wherever you've been having limitations at is wherever you ain't been answering your phone for the spirit. It's literally saying spirit been calling you. I would say Capricorn, get back to your office or get back to your desk. So that literally and figuratively, whatever your work or your purpose is supposed to do, Capricorn ain't been doing shit. So it says Capricorn, it says right here, you ain't been listening to the spirit. So your body might have been moving, but the mind and the spirit hasn't been moving. So that means you're still not aligned. Capricorn, man, it says you've been showing up to work. You on the road when they call name in class, but you not there. The body is there, you're not there. So it's telling you to be more present. And that's why it shows answer your call, Sagittarius. You haven't been at Capricorn, you haven't been at your desk. And it says spirit been calling you. So if you need to change careers right now, Sagittarius, Capricorn, this is a time where you might, that full moon was telling you, this is a stop right here. Should I change what I'm going to do? Do I want to do something else? Also, areas of commitment. If you are married, Capricorn, that might have been also for you to be like, hey, is this really where I want to be? If your Venus is in Capricorn in your chart, because Venus is going to be in Capricorn soon, that goes back to you need to tune up to your relationship. Anytime your natal aspects are starting to come up in on a progressive moment, a progressive chart, that's why I tell people, hey, you need to get your chart read. So I make good money anyway. I'm not just selling it. I'm saying it's certain things that come up in your life every 4 years, every 5 years, every 12 years. So just like stuff with your car, it's some things that need to just be checked every few years. And I would say Capricorns right now, dealing with love and also dealing with your relationship with the divine, y'all need to tap in. Oh, I would say the ones who have been feeling the most resistance towards their endeavors. However, the ones who have been aligned and getting what they need to do is still saying you're not answering your calls. So if you still been feeling like everything is going in your benefit, Capricorns, it's still something you're missing. There's still a puzzle piece somewhere that the universe says, you ain't been listening to me. I've been trying to tell you something. And maybe you can listen now, I would say, because Saturn is back direct. And Saturn is your ruling planet. Saturn is back direct. So maybe Capricorns can follow through and kind of do what they need to do now, as far as tuning in more. I would say grounding, because you're an earth sign, the way you guys connect to the spirit is through the earth and through the ground and looking down. So I would say, grounding, going outside, or even eating certain things, really having a good prayer over a specific fruit or over some water or something before you consume it. All of that can help you internally, Capricorns. Aquarius, y'all popping right now. Aquariuses are popping. Aquarius is telling you to use your talent. It says the best time is when the moon is in, I would say when the moon is in, it's waning gibbous right now. Oh, that's waning crescent. When the moon is in waning crescent. So this is right before that new moon. So if the new moon is on November 4th, it's going to be waning crescent a few days before that. So let's say the end of October. Let's say October 28th, 29th, and 30th. I would say, and 31st. So let's just say that for Aquarius, it says use your talents, right? Aquarius, because the planets are back direct in your sign, Jupiter and Saturn is back direct, y'all can just fly like a butterfly. Y'all can fly like a little butterfly. Aquarius, y'all just dancing right now. Y'all can just do y'all thing right now. The universe giving y'all a whole lot of backup right now. You got the money, you got the funds, you got the glory right now. Aquarius, I would work that shit. And the only thing is, all right, goes back to this Scorpio season about to happen. It's going to challenge, all right, wherever you're not prepared for the damages, Aquarius, because you guys are so light and so free and just like to just do y'all little thing, y'all are not always prepared for the damages. Now, because y'all do represent chaos, y'all do represent miracles and disasters, things that can go very right or very wrong, but because y'all have to work on y'all's coping skills, y'all not always prepared for if the car actually crashes. Scorpio is the car crash, okay? Aquarius is let's call Aquarius the train tracks. You at the train tracks, all right? It gives you time right before the train comes, before you're in a dangerous situation to make a decision. So this is why Aquarius can be very flighty, but also it's hard for them to be decisive about things. I would say Scorpio is going to challenge wherever you don't have control at. Wherever you don't have control and wherever, like I said, you're not prepared for the damages, Aquarius. But right now, it's telling you to use your talents. Jupiter in Sagittarius is back direct. You can use your talents. You can naturally just walk into a room and things can go in your favor, Aquarius, right now. You're also in harmony with Venus being in Sagittarius right now. Venus being in the Sagittarius feeds the hell out of an Aquarius. Trust me. Okay? So Aquarius, y'all can like do jumps and dances y'all never did before right now. And I would tell you to do it. I would tell you to pirouette your little ass on somewhere. Aquarius, because things are just really working out for y'all without a whole lot of effort. So I would say most Aquariuses, regardless of the rest of your placements, just Aquarius in general, y'all can really just kind of like get what you want right now. And so use that Venus and Sagittarius to your advantage. Travel as much as you can and meet as many people as possible, Aquarius, because you have between now and like the end of November to really do your thing, Aquarius. All right, Pisces, answers. Pisces, talking about answers within. Okay, so answers you need to find that are from the divine, not looking outside of you. Okay, and it says right now, it says Pisces, it says not finding the answers. For one, Pisces, those sober moments back in Virgo season was to help you, not hurt you. When Neptune was retrograding, it's to help you, not hurt you. Pisces can take things very personal. So meaning even when they're going through their journey, it's personal. Pisces is very, very elevated sign though, right? So the reason why they can take things personal, because it's almost like Pisces and Aquarius is almost like the closest to God, right? Let's just say that. So it's almost like when things don't go their way all the time, it's almost like they take it personal because they know God like that. And so, because Pisces is a Christ sign and Aquarius speaks the language of Christ. And so those are humanitarians. Those are the people that'll do anything for anybody. And that's why on the downside, when you do Aquarius or Pisces wrong, you better run, because those are very high spiritual high signs. You don't want to violate a Pisces or an Aquarius. Now, if they violate you, they get in more trouble than you do though. That's what I'm saying. Because they're high signs, their karma is worse. Sagittarius, Capricorns, Pisces, and Aquarius are very spiritually high signs. So those are graduated, mature signs, and they're ruled by mature, graduated planets. So that's why I say when you violate them, your ass gonna get it. But when they violate you, they get in way more trouble because those are older signs. So meaning they know better. So that's why it goes back to they take things more personal. They've been knowing God longer. So when Pisces go through stuff, they act like a victim. They just like, man, God, I've been knowing you like how you gonna do me like that? Because you still a person in the physical. So that's why their spirit will forget you got a body. You got flesh. You ain't straight just from the stars this time around, Pisces. And so that's why, like I say, they turn around, they do a lot of crying, they do a lot of victim behavior. Pisces do. Because it's just like, man, I went to school with Jesus. Yeah, well, yeah. You got to deal with consequences like everybody else, Pisces. And so that's why they have that. Not me. They talking to everybody else. They ain't talking to me. Like Pisces had that energy about them. Your ass in trouble too, Pisces. Be quiet. And so for Pisces, I would say that learn how to get your whooping and take one on the chin. But it's also telling you guys to trust yourself a little bit more. And so when a Pisces doesn't trust, you also get in trouble for that. Because if you're the closest to God, how you not getting your messages? You see what I'm saying? You see how much trouble you get in, Pisces? Okay, you can't brag about knowing God and then don't do godly things. Huh? Let's talk about that, Pisces. Okay, but so that's all the signs. That's with that full moon, and I try to talk everybody through a little bit of your Scorpio season as well. Now, anything further than that, you're going to have to reach out to me one-on-one. Because for one, I talk a lot. But for two, it is it's way more thorough. Because I'm just talking broadly right now to 18 people. Or however many people came in and out of the room. However, yourself, your body, your health, everything that's affecting you right now is way more to the T when it's your own individual chart. So that's why I kind of just did a layout for all of the signs, because people want me to do that more. I got 9% on my phone, so I am about to go soon. I know I didn't interact and talk as much this time, but I'm trying to make sure I get out more information, because people call me, inbox, and when I talk to my clients, when I get their reading, a lot of them be asking me certain things they want me to get deeper into when I go live. So they be like, man, when you go live, can you talk about this? So I'm going to do a separate video about the spirit guides, about the ancestors and your higher self and all of that. I'm going to put that on my YouTube. I'm going to share it here. Or if you guys want to make that an open discussion on live, because I'm realizing more and more my lives don't be an open discussion. It really just be me talking and people listening. And I don't mean for it to be like that, but I do just be giving away so much information that I don't get time to actually talk and like interact and mingle, because it's so much information with the astrology and everybody wants to hear about their sign. So to go through 12 signs and have to give information about 12 signs, that's a lot. This was pretty much a reading right now. All is well, but reach out to me for anybody who wants their own individual reading. It's a couple of days left of Libra season. So Libras, I'm still doing your birthday sessions for a certain price. Reach out to me for that. Also, Scorpio season is about to be starting. I'm definitely going to be doing the birthday sessions for Scorpios. I'm also going to be doing, even though it's the end of Libra season, I'm going to be doing a special relationship composite charts. So a lot of times most astrologers do run specials like that during Libra season, because Libra season is talking about partnerships, so they do that. But Scorpio season is talking about the intensity and the things and the trials and tribulations that people might experience, or some deep involvement, and some people might really be in love and might really feel like they've met the person that they want. Some people might consider marriage and all of that during Scorpio season. Or I always say consummate the marriage now. You're taking it more serious because you just came out of Libra season. So Scorpio season is when I want to do the composite charts for people, because I feel like that's when people are either having the most issues in their relationship, or when somebody is the most obsessed with somebody during Scorpio season. And that's when you need to see what really is going on in your relationship, and if somebody is for you, if it's somebody you're potentially dating, or this is a situation you need to be a part of still if you're already involved. So that's why I do everything different. I'm purposely am rebellious with astrology. I do things completely different from the way other astrologers do it. For one, because that's how my spirit does it. For two, I'm Aquarius at heart at the end of the day. Even though I'm a Gemini, I just like to do things against the grain. And I get different results and better results when I do things just my way. So, I know other astrologers do things their own way, just like hairstylists, like I said, makeup artists, everybody has their own way. When you watch my live, it's my way. So a lot of people will call me and they'll say, oh, other people do their readings this way, but you need to go back to them. Because the way that I do things is my way, and I don't like to have a conflict with the way I'm doing things. So I can be a control freak too. And so when it comes to the way that I do my readings and my charts, I'm doing things my way. And I'm just saying that now because I've been having people who heard about me, who come to me, and they spend the whole time talking about how somebody else do it. This is my show. I'm driving this car. I'm mama. When you come to me, I'm big mama, okay? You're going to do shit my way. And that's it. And so when you want to get healed, when you want to get aligned, when you really, honestly, when you go to anybody, not just me, y'all need to respect whose space you're in at the time. Don't talk about what your other astrologer did and what some other card reader did. I think that's disrespectful. And I think it's disrespectful when you try to pit us against each other and try to get us to speak on each other's work. And be like, oh, do you think she knew what she was talking about? Like, don't do stuff like that. For one, we do spiritual work, so you're going to get yourself in trouble before you'll get us in trouble about speaking on each other. And it's very manipulative, and it shows how much of a reading you still need when you're trying to gossip between readers. I think that's very messy, and you are not my client anymore when you come to me and do that. And believe me, there's a lot of people who can't come to me no more because they're trying to go back and forth between readers and trying to be messy. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you, so don't misuse my energy, okay? Peace and love, you guys. I'm about to go. My phone is now at 6%, and I do not want it to hang up on y'all. But I'm going to be posting this live on my YouTube, and I'm going to put this on my website for anybody who jumped in late or anybody who wants to watch the whole thing. I think I might have been talking for at least an hour. It might have been almost 2 hours. I don't know how long I've been talking. I just knew that when I got home, I was going to go live. And I also knew that I was going to try to talk until my phone almost died. And it's about to die. So y'all have a good night and share this video, you guys. Share this video. Hey, and I am still going to put my cash up in my comments and in my title because somebody told me to. So, you know, hit that cash out one good time, you know, just for the good time, you know. But peace and love, you guys, and y'all be safe.